We'll begin with now those things that obligate ghusl on a person. طيب. أولا خروج المني. Again, this is going to be you're going to have to be mature about this. Ejaculation of semen with two sifat. طيب. أولا دفقا. What is that? يعني going out with force. طيب. وبلذة. يعني and with pleasure. Al-mani is what the insan is made of. It's one of the building blocks of insan. But what does it do? Does it invalidate the wudu? Yes. But it also obligates ghusl. طيب. So that is the first. Mani coming out in this form obligates ghusl ijma'an. Ijma'an. Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, Zahiri, everybody agrees. طيب. And this has been recorded by Ibn Hazm and Ibn Mundhir and Muwaffaquddin Ibn Qudama and Shamsuddin in his Sharh al-Kabir and An-Nabawi and others. No doubt that there is ijma' in this. If it comes out with force, yani forceful, not yani in a strong gushing manner, with pleasure, ijma'an, you have to, whether you are alone, whether yani whatever, you have to make ghusl. Now there is an exception to that, which is غير نائم, except for the one who is asleep. For the naim, if you wake up and you find semen, you gotta make ghusl. Doesn't matter how it came out, because you are يعني in a state where you don't know. طيب. احتلام, or يعني having a dream, which is called the wet dream, obligates the ghusl. So if you wake up and there is semen on bed sheets, clothes, whatever, you gotta make ghusl. طيب. If somebody engages in some kind of an activity that does cause a feeling, but nothing exits the body. If we look at the hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum that when you see the ma, or the hadith of Ali radiyallahu anhu, or other ahadith, all of them, they show that it has to be out. And it's just the feeling in itself does not. And this is the jamhur, jamhur al-ulama take this opinion that if it is within the body, it does not necessitate the ghusl. So if you felt something but nothing came out, ghusl is not obligatory according to the madhab, khalif to the matan we're studying. But according to the adillah, if there is a proof, I am tabi' to the kitab wa sunnah. This is my loyalty. The disappearance of the head of the male organ into the female organ. Well, sure, there you go. Vagina? I don't know. Is that too far? Tayyib. In a case that you don't have anything come out of your body and you are with somebody, like a husband with wife, then ghusl is not wajib. But if the head of the male organ enters the vagina of the female, then ghusl, even if nothing comes out, ghusl is not wajib. Even if nothing came out. But now some sinful acts, and again I'm prefacing that these are sinful acts, but you still need to know the hukam. What if the penetration is of the anus, which is haram, whether it's with a woman or a man, haram, mutlaqan, no doubt, haram. طيب. But what is the hukam? طيب. Hukam is, it still obligates the ghusl. طيب, what if it's an animal or a dead person? Still obligates the ghusl, because that penetration still took place. Even though those things are haram, but they obligate ghusl. طيب. When the kafir becomes Muslim, those who say, like the Hanafiya, that there is no ghusl for them, they say the dalil is that there are many people that became Muslim in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we don't see in those ahadith them being ordered to perform the ghusl. For example, when Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu was going, Rasulullah was giving him instructions about the people that become Muslim. He didn't tell them that when they become Muslim, order them to perform ghusl. The response to that is the hadith that, again, it's a sahih hadith, where Rasulullah ordered Qais ibn Asim radiallahu anhu when he became Muslim to perform ghusl. But those other madhahib respond to that, the Hanafiya respond to that to say that maybe he was in a state that required ghusl. Well, the response to that is, we don't go on maybes. You can't just say maybe. Right? Is there some sigha here used or a tense that shows that? No. Then you cannot just say maybe. No. Tayyib, those who say it's mustahab say, okay, Rasulullah ordered him, but in other ahadith when people become Muslim, they were not ordered, so this was mustahab. But this is also wrong. Why? First, al-amr, when there is an order, it shows wujud. So that is the asal of it. Rasulullah ordered him, Qais ibn Asim, radiyallahu anhu, so it shows wujud. Now those other people that became Muslim, is there anything sarih to show that they were told you do not need to make ghusl? No. So when they are not told something, or when it's not documented that they were not told something, it doesn't mean they were not told that. Let me give an example. People became Muslim, there is no documentation that they were told that go make salah. Does that mean they became Muslim and didn't make salah? La. Just because the hadith doesn't mention something doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that it did happen. It's neutral. So those are neutral. You can't use them for evidence or without. So what evidence do we have? We have evidence that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered the Sahabi became Muslim that with Islam go make ghusl. And in support of that are many narrations from Sahaba that also ordered. I'll even give you an easy one. Look at the hadith of Ukht Umar, the sister of Umar. She didn't ask Umar, are you a junub? And he didn't, men don't have hayd and nifas and so on. But she told him, you are in a state of kufr, go make ghusl first. Before you can accept Islam, before you can touch the Musaf, go make ghusl. And many other adillah we find from Sahaba that ordered those that became Muslim to perform ghusl. And we have a sarih hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We don't have anything sarihan that somebody became Muslim and they were told, you do not need to make ghusl. Or it's mustahab, liman yasha, la. So what is the hukm? That Islam of a kafir is from the sabab that obligates ghusl. Somebody becomes Muslim, it's obligatory upon them to perform ghusl. The fifth, maut, death. And for this we have the order of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from many of the Sahaba, اغسلوه بالماء, يعني to give ghusl with ma. There are some exceptions like, for example, the shaheed and so on, but we're not going to get into all of that. But through many ahadith, where Rasulullah ordered that when somebody dies, that they be given ghusl, because the amr, we say it's wajib. So death is one of the things that obligates ghusl. Who is it obligatory upon? Us who are living to do ghusl for the dead. The one who's dead, even though he's the one that needs it, but he's not going to be held accountable for it, right? Because he's dead. But it becomes an obligation upon us, a fardul kifaya on us, because it did obligate for the person to get ghusl, but the responsibility who's mukallaf, we are. The last two, hayd and nifas. And this is again ijma'an. I didn't find any khilaf on this issue. The hadith where Rasulullah ordered Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh radiyallahu anha, muttafaqun alayhi in Bukhari and Muslim. So hayd and nifas, and there are many other hadith from Aisha radiyallahu anha and other, and this is also reported by Aisha radiyallahu anha, even though it's regarding Fatima ibn Abi Hubaysh, bint Abi Hubaysh radiyallahu anhuma. But here now we have many adillah and ijma of the ummah that hayd and nifas obligate ghusl. When? After it. This is something different. As soon as you're in a state of janaba, right there, you can make ghusl. But as soon as you're in a state of hayd, you cannot make ghusl. This is what the fuqaha have clarified. Hayd and nifas obligate ghusl, but after its completion. Tayyib? Woman is in hayd, after she finishes her hayd, now she has to make ghusl. Not during hayd. During hayd, she can take all the showers she wants. It does not fulfill the obligation. In nifas, if a woman is in a state of nifas, when the blood stops of nifas, ghusl becomes wajib. If not, then we'll talk about the 40 days and so on, and what happens if it keeps going in the bab of hayd and nifas. But this is something to learn. These are the 7 things mentioned here. The muallif here mentions that if you have childbirth without any blood, a bloodless childbirth, which is very rare, but there was one of the sahabiyat that was mentioned in some of the kutub that she had it. So in that case, the muallif here says, ghusl is not wajib on him. Because what obligates ghusl is the dam, is the flow of blood. What is the dalil for that? The dalil for that is, when is it wajib for her to make ghusl? When what stops? The blood, not when the child is born. So the birth of the child by itself does not obligate ghusl. It does invalidate the wudu, because even something tahir coming out of sabilain does invalidate wudu. But if she has a child, a bloodless childbirth, which is very rare, but maybe Dr. Asim has seen it. If it does happen, then it does obligate wudu, but not ghusl. Majority, the vast majority of the cases, there is blood with childbirth, and in that case, it obligates ghusl when the blood stops or the period of nifas has ended. This ends the things that obligate wudu here in this bab. So we will now stop here. Jazakumullahu khairan.